Hello everybody and welcome back, and welcome to another reaction video. Now I know I said I was going to start recording and back again on Boxing Day, but it turned out that I wasn't quite in the right state to do that. I was actually still very drunk that morning, so yeah, turned out not to be the best idea to try and do a reaction video. But anyway, I'm back now, and what better way to come back in and with some nice black metal. I understand it's black metal anyway. Listening to a band called Vintersorg. I've never heard them before. I've heard of them, but never heard their music. Yeah, so I did a little bit of research. So Vintersorg translates to English as winter sorrow. They're a Swedish band from Skellefteå, I hope I pronounced that properly, formed in 1994 under the name Vargatron, which is Wolf Throne in English. Musically, the band has covered a wide variety of styles, but is mostly rooted in black metal with Viking and folk influences. So there we go. Now, the track we're going to listen to is called Vildmarkens Förtrollande Stämmor. There you go. Now, I did a little bit of looking around, and it turns out that the literal translation of that is wilderness enchanting voices, but having searched around for the translated lyrics, the name of the song turns out to be called The Enchanted Tunes of Wilderness, apparently. But I have got the lyrics up here. As I've said many times before, I'm not expecting a huge amount from black metal lyrics. They seem to mostly be about magic, demons, sacrifice, or like nature and forests and mountains. And so I'm pretty much expecting pretty much the same from them. So we shall see. Having to use different set of headphones today because my Bluetooth ones are not behaving today. They just don't want to play. So I'm going to be using a gaming headset. So yeah, I'll put a link to the original video in the description below, and I think we'll just get straight on with it. So, Vintersorg, The Enchanted Tunes of Wilderness. I'm not going to try and say the Swedish one again. Well, I've got to say straight off, it's not the vocal style I was expecting. I was expecting a lot more, well, black metal. But there is a definite black metal influence in the music itself. The vocal style itself is the Viking / folk influence that was mentioned at the beginning of the video. So far quite interesting, and the thing is the voice actually fits very well with the music as well. It's very hard to get that hideously wrong, because black metal music doesn't really lend itself to many other styles of vocals other than your typical screeched black metal. Excuse me. Christ on the bike. But yeah, as for the actual lyrics themselves, I don't know how good the translation is. But it starts off, along the streams and falls of frigid brooks, the sweeping of the storm in a numinous tone. The flood from the melting snow ice drains life from ice crystals. With a storm-filled spirit, a spring journey towards Mon. I'm not sure what Mon is. Craving for freedom and fighting at weathered boulders, like a modest falcon scared away and fleeing. The sun is now transforming the surface to an abandoned lid. Soon the once demented glory will begin again. Or will again be, sorry. So it's basically seems to be describing the change of the world from winter to spring. By the sound, that's what it seems to be. I mean, it's literally just talking about nature. I don't know if it's supposed to represent anything else. But so far, I quite like it. I think we'll carry on.
Alla riken svävar trosvall spelmanslivet dämpat brus som stammar i skymningstidens spel. En cykel tusenårig med allmakt som ej hämnes inte kärnsjön förstod är som vi oss ser. Med frihetsfrågan och kämpande vid vittringsbrottingar var mark som skrämt på flykt. Solen förvandlar till ett styckat lopp. Snart återstundar en prakt som var förryckt.
It really is a very nice piece of music, actually. The music itself, whilst it is very black metal, you know, it's got the sort of persistent, heavy guitar riffs, because that's one notable thing about black metal, is the guitar riffs never seem to really change that much. But it's good. You know, the actual music itself is good, but the vocals themselves are brilliant. They really... You know, they really sound very, very good. And again, it seems like the song, as I said before, it seems like a celebration of nature. You know, as I said, a lot of black metal does seem to go on talk about nature. You know, a lot of people on the outside of metal music seem to think black metal is all about like sacrificing virgins and devil worship, which couldn't be further from the truth. Because it carries on there. In all realms of nature, tones float around like music, a muffled hum stemming from the play of dusk time. A cycle 1,000 years old, a supremacy that has not yet failed, where flourishing pine forests are nurtured by the stream pool of the mire. You know, so... You know, I love that first line. In all realms of nature, tones float around like music. I think that is beautiful, because it is literally that. You know, you could stand in the middle of a forest by a stream and, you know, just let all the sounds that surround you sort of just wash over you, and it is like music. You know, you've got the running of the water, you've got the rustling of the trees in the wind, you've got myriads of animals behind you that, you know, you could possibly hear birds singing, you got things snuffling through the undergrowth and stuff like that. You know, just standing in nature is beautiful, the sounds that you get. And it says there, a cycle 1,000 years old, a supremacy that has not yet failed. That really speaks for itself, doesn't it? You know, nature, the earth is thousands of years old. You know, the beauty of nature, the strength of nature, because it is very resilient. You know, it has lasted thousands of years. It has not disappeared. You know, wildlife hasn't disappeared off the planet. Greenery, plants, you know, hasn't disappeared off the planet. You know, it is still stayed strong and it has not yet failed. And it says we're flourishing pine forests and nurtured by the stream pools of the mire. Obviously, nourishing pine forests, that seems to be a mostly sort of Scandinavian thing, pine forests, but still, it remains the same. You know, forests that have stood strong and stayed there, you know, kept alive by little streams that run through the middle of them and stuff like that. It's really quite nice the way they've worded it. We'll carry on. I don't believe there's very much of the song left. Well, there we go. That was Vildmarkens Förtrollande Stämmor by Vintersorg. That was a very, very good track. I very much enjoyed that. It's not what I was expecting at all when I read that it was black metal with Viking and folk influences. I was expecting predominantly black metal vocals, black metal music. But I was pleasantly surprised by that. Black metal music, really nice sort of Viking folk vocals. Very, very good. Very, very good. And I mean, there isn't like a huge meaning behind the song, except for the resilience of nature and the turning of winter to spring by the sounds of things. I'm getting that just from the very beginning of the song, that it's the changing of winter to spring. But it is beautifully worded and it creates some really interesting imagery when you read it. That's assuming the translation is a good one. No, I really quite like that. I'll have to hear some more of this stuff because, you know, I like black metal in a certain capacity and... Oh my god, excuse me. You know, I also like that sort of vocal style. It's very good. Very, very good. Can't think of much else to say on it that I haven't already said. So I will leave it at that. If anybody would like to suggest any tracks for me to react to, then please do so by all means. Drop a comment in the comment section below, or you can message me on my Facebook or my Instagram. Both are linked in the description below as well. If you have suggested a track and it hasn't come up yet, rest assured it is coming. My list is quite exhaustive. You know, it's bloody long by now. You know, I get many songs suggested to me every single day, and you know, it takes me a while to get round to them. But yes, so if you want to recommend a track, please do. Also, Metalhead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. They are a British-based charity that are trying to put an end to hate crimes. No matter who you are, no matter what you believe in or the way you live, you know, if you're into alternative music, if your sexual preference or gender identity or your religious choices, nobody should be threatened or persecuted for their personal choices. And the Sophie Lancaster Foundation trying to put an end to that, trying to stamp out prejudice, hatred and tolerance in every aspect of life, in every part of the world. There is no need for it. You know, nobody should be persecuted because of what they believe in or what they stand for. You know, everybody is an individual. Everybody has the right to be an individual. You know, you know, if the world was full of people that thought exactly the same things, liked exactly the same stuff, if we were all exactly the same, this would be an incredibly boring place to live. So yeah, if you want to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to them in the description below as well, and yeah, pop over there, show them some love. It's a charity that means a great deal to me. Yes, I think what they're doing is very worthwhile, because I myself and many of my friends have been victims of hate crimes just because of the way we look, the music we listen to, and some of them because of their sexual identity and gender preference. So, yeah. I think I'll leave that as it is. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Med gråt kallar en ilar kors och fall blir vädret svept